Hey, Jamie? Jamie. Oh, I thought she was right here. Jamie. The library is not that big. Jamie! Jamie.
Is she gone? Can you see her anywhere? Wonderful, I escaped. Good morning and welcome to the Lumos story time at the Lewis County Public Library. Today we are on the last of the stories in this wonderful book, The Tale of the Three Brothers. Now, if you could do us a favor, and if you're watching this live, comment below on how many people are watching with you. That will really help us out. And we hope that you're enjoying these story times as much as we are. So, let's begin. The Tale of the Three Brothers. There were once three brothers who were traveling along a lonely, winding road at twilight. In time, the brothers reached a river too deep to wade through and too dangerous to swim across. However, these brothers were learned in the magical arts, and so they simply waved their wands and made the bridge appear across the treacherous water. They were halfway across it when they found their path blocked by a hooded figure. And Death spoke to them. He was angry that he had been cheated out of 3 new victims, for travelers usually drowned in the river. But Death was cunning. He pretended to congratulate the three brothers upon their magic, and said that each had earned a prize for having been clever enough to evade him. So the oldest brother, who was a combative man, asked for a wand more powerful than any in existence, a wand that must always win duels for its owner. A wand worthy of a wizard who had conquered death. So Death crossed to an elder tree on the banks of the river, fashioned a wand from a branch that hung there, and gave it to the eldest brother. Then the second brother, who was an arrogant man, decided he wanted to humiliate Death still further and asked for the power to recall others from death. So that Death picked up a stone from the riverbank and gave it to the second brother and told him that the stone would have the power to bring back the dead. And then Death asked the third and the youngest brother what he would like. The youngest brother was the humblest and also the wisest of the brothers, and he did not trust Death. So he asked for something that would enable him to go forth from that place without being followed by Death. And Death, most unwillingly, handed over his own cloak of invisibility. Then Death stood aside and allowed the three brothers to continue on their way, and they did so, still with wonder of the adventure they had had and admiring Death's gifts. In due course, the brothers separated, each for his own destination. The first brother traveled on for a week or more, and reaching a distant village, sought out a fellow wizard with whom he had had a quarrel. Naturally, the elder wand as his weapon, he could not fail to win the duel that followed. Leaving his enemy dead upon the floor, the oldest brother proceeded to an inn where he boasted loudly of the powerful wand he had snatched from Death himself, and of how it made him invincible. That very night, another wizard crept upon the oldest brother as he lay, wine-sodden upon his bed. The thief took the wand and, for good measure, slit the eldest brother's throat. And so Death took the first brother for his own. Meanwhile, the second brother journeyed to his own home where he lived alone. Here, he took out the stone that had the power to recall the dead and turned it thrice in his hand. To his amazement and his delight, the figure of the girl who he had once hoped to marry before her untimely death appeared at once before him. Yet, she was sad and cold, separated from him as by a veil. Though she had returned to the mortal world, she did not truly belong there and suffered. Finally, the second brother, driven mad with hopeless longing, killed himself so he could truly join her. And so Death took the second brother for his own. But Death searched for the third brother for many years, and he was never able to find him. There was only when he had attained a great age that the youngest brother finally took off the cloak of invisibility and gave it to his son, and then he greeted Death as an old friend and went with him gladly, and as equals they departed this life. Thank you so much for watching this rather short story. We hope that you've enjoyed being a part of this Lumos celebration and that you've enjoyed the tales of Beedle the Bard as much as we have. In the coming months, we're going to be continuing our Lumos story time, And if you have any suggestions of short stories you'd like for us to read in these, we will be happy to see if we can make it happen. And in June and July, we're going to, as a part of our summer reading program, be reading various fairy tales, legends, and myths. Some of them will be as close as we can to the original versions of the stories. Some of them will be retellings. And we hope that you enjoy them as much as we will. Now, with the original tellings, they may not be as younger viewer safe, so we will put a warning on those before we share them. We hope that you will continue tuning in. Please like, comment, share our video, and subscribe or follow to see our future videos. And remember, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, but only for those who remember to turn on the light.
Jamie.
Oh, she's coming.
Oh, I know I heard you over here. Hey, Jamie, I was going to ask you a question. Let's see. Wait. Where are you? Jamie, I am not crazy. I am not hearing voices. I know I heard you. Jamie.